Okay, question number 2, task 2, question number 2. What is this relationship? That's the question number 2 is saying. With reference to the case R versus Abdurrahman and others, discuss whether lawyers and the police should be excluded from jury service. Now, first question about this question. Okay, which area of jury service it is talking about? You did not ask me, but answer the question. Which area of jury service this question is about?
Limitation. Public work.
Is it talking about fairness, representativeness, or selection?
Selection.
This is about selection. This question is about jury selection. You have to understand when you are doing something, you have to understand which area it is asking. Okay, which issue? So this is about jury selection. Discuss whether lawyers and police should be excluded from jury service. Okay. What is the main law about jury? What is the law? What is the statute related to jury? Juries Act 1974. Good. Reformed by which act? Why Abdurrahman became such an issue? Why including and excluding of police and lawyers has become an issue? There must have been a change. What is the change? You see, let me rephrase. The Juries Act 1974 says that lawyers and police, anybody involved in the administration of justice, are not to be included. Then why this issue came up in Abdurrahman? Which case? Which court? Sorry, which statute? Yes, CJ 2003. This is important. You know why I picked it up? Because you may have a question from there. It's more likely. If you ask me to look at the entire topic of jury, this is one area that has been meeting me. You may have a question. Because this is a reform we are talking about. In other areas, there is not much reform. But this is what reform is.
This case.
Yes. This is where a change came. Okay? Recently, and this is an area which involves a lot of issues. Jury selection, fairness of jury, this is talking about Article 6 and all this stuff. Yes, Article 6. You know, all the principles of natural justice, all these are involved here. Alright? Can you take a note of it? How many can I area that? Write it down. I would say this is something very important. আরেকটা ব্যাপার just write that thing, that area.
That's 2 word.
Yeah, that's number 2. That area is very important. I feel. If I were an examiner and asked a question about jury, I would be question on that because that's very important.
Check with the examiner. Yes, sir. Unanimous decision.
Sorry?
About the reform.
No, reform, yes. It's about reform. How many of you have a tab? Yeah, have that. How many of you have laptop? Is it very heavy?
Yes. Yes. Carryable. Not dependent.
You can still carry it, and you don't live far, Mister. So you can't say that it is too heavy for me to carry. Right. I don't know whether you discussed it, but I have been pressing PPP to give you that.
They gave a contest. Which you are perform this service. No contest. I got a mail from
Who are the SSLC here? Is anyone SSLC? SSLC there? Why don't you pick it up with Adam? Why don't you talk to Adam when you have an SSLC? About the dam. You see, what I suggested, you should talk to them. That I suggested them to give you a tab where there can be an app of bill inbuilt. And all you have to do is just press and you get it. Okay, and you can have other things. And I said you can give an option to the students. If they want to buy it, they can buy it. You know, say if they buy it, they will, because they will buy these volumes, they will get it cheaper. Okay, if it costs you to spend 200 pounds to buy it from a store, it may cost you to buy it for 120, and they can offer you for 130 with PNB. Okay, and I think that's a very good thing. They can give you an option. Say, if you want to buy it, you pay 130 pounds in excess of your tuition fee. Anyone doesn't want to buy it, they can say, well, I don't want it. But I don't think anybody will count that 50,000 taka and not buy it. Everybody will buy it. Yes. Yes. Okay. The reason I'm talking about it because and you are already in the second semester, I would expect you to bring your own things in the class and access it at the same time when I'm doing it. That would be very helpful. That would be very helpful. The phone is too small. Fine. Good Lord, we have forgot each other. I've seen you after such a long time. Okay, so that's what is my idea. So I would have, because I have been pressing them. I raised it twice already. It should come from students because you are the recipient in the end. It should come from you, and that is the reason why these SSLC representatives and all these things are in place. You should tell them this is what you feel that is important. All right? Okay. So that's another thing. Now, let's get back to what we were discussing. The Juries Act 1974 simply says anybody involved in the administration of justice should not be allowed to sit as a jury. Okay, that includes lawyers, police officers, prison officers, prosecutors, everybody. Yes. Okay. Now, the Criminal Justice Act 2003 saying that, well, they can be. Okay, CJ 2003 is saying they can be. Do you want this term? They can be. Okay. Then Abdroikov came, followed by R versus Williamson, R versus Green. Actually, 3 cases. R versus Abdroikov, you can write the names. R versus Abdroikov, R versus Williamson, R versus Green. I would suggest you to look at all the 3 cases. Okay? Write down the names. R versus Abdroikov, R versus Williamson, R versus Green. R versus Khan. No, not Khan. cannot be coming later. Right. So if you look at these three cases are all about having police officers in the jury. Okay. Why that should be challenged? Why did they challenge having a police officer in the jury? What was the thing? What do you think? Think about it. Why police officers were not included in the jury in the first place? Let's talk about that.
Bias.
What kind of biases?
Because they won't be able to think about like reasonable person because
Why? Police officers are reasonable?
police officers usually have the mind of
So how does that contradict with jury?
Should not just a layman, so they should think like a common man in the society. But police officers are not trained that they are trained in a way so that they will see there's all the legal accessories in their mind, so they will think in a way.
Even the members of the delivery,
Yeah, that's a different issue. But I'm talking they are not part of the administration justice. You see, let's talk about first act, the Criminal Justice Act, the Juries Act 1974, which say that if you are a lawyer, not to be included in jury. Why was that? What is the benefit? What's the difference between a layperson's view and a lawyer's view?
They will apply more of lawyers.
They will apply a more law, application of law. If I put you in jury now, if I ask you to determine somebody's guilt, you will start looking at you will start thinking about that. You will start looking at that point of view. If I give you a contract evaluation, you will start looking at, was there no point? Was it acceptance? What was the consideration? Okay. You will immediately be influenced by the training that you are having.
yes,
Same goes for a police officer, same goes for a lawyer. Okay. Now, if you look back 800 years specifically, where we have which one? Which document? 800 years back? What is the document that we got? Magna Carta, yes. Yes, Magna Carta, 1215, from where jury has been created. The jury originates from Magna Carta. What was the idea? The idea was that the administration of justice through jury would reflect the perception of life of the society. Common man's view, reasonable man's view. Okay, which tells us another story, isn't it? That lawyers are not common men. I'm not listening. They are uncommon people, lawyers. Okay, they are not common. They are uncommon, isn't it? Anyway, so what are we saying? That was the view. 2003 Act say no, they can be included in the jury. And that brought the issues in federal law. What would be the thing? If you are a defendant and you get convicted by a jury where there was a police officer, what would be your claim? What would you claim? You will appeal. You will appeal. If you are convicted, if you are the defendant and you are convicted by a jury and you find out that there was a police officer included in it or a prosecutor was part of it, you will appeal against that conviction, isn't it? What would be your first claim here? What would be your first ground of the appeal? The trial was not fair. On which ground you are claiming that it was unfair? You just don't say that it was not fair trial. You have explained why you are saying that it was not fair. What is
There
it?
is a police, he might think things critically and.
What else? Practically, what else? You'll explain. You'll say. You are the defendant's lawyer. Okay, now I make you the lawyer. You are the defendant's lawyer. You are appealing against the conviction of your client. The client had faced a jury trial. The trial was in the trial there was a police officer or a prosecutor. What do you say? You just don't say that it is unfair. You have to explain me why it is unfair.
It becomes difficult for the lawyer, the defendant, to actually persuade if the jury, if there is a member of police or any lawyer, because he's going to
And
think from his
police are always
perspective.
suspicious, so they always stand
Exactly,
up
he's going to think from his
thinking that people
perspective.
are
He won't listen to
But law has allowed them to be included. Then what do we do?
But it's
Law
their
is saying,
state of mind that change like that.
Exactly, he's going to think from his perspective.
but law is not saying that you can bar somebody like that. Now you see that was probably right if we are talking about the 1974 Act. But 1974 Act clearly says no, you can't be a jury. CJ 2003 says that well you can be a jury, and you have a trial where you have to be member of the police. What would you explain? What would you claim? Think about it. What would you claim? Not just saying that it is unfair, it is not good enough. And if you say unfair, which article you will article you do? Article 6, yes, I just have that. Yeah. Now you tell me, what is the key element of an unfair trial? If you want to claim that the trial was unfair, there's a key element that you need to look at. Bias, conflict of interest. You have to raise conflict of interest as a key element, that there was a conflict of interest. Okay, so what do you have to show? You have to show that that police officer who was included in the trial had some kind of conflict of interest. And still, if you can establish that conflict of interest, it's fine. Then only you have the appeal, you will have the appeal is successful.
If it is so, then why are they allowed?
You see, what I mentioned, that they can be included in the jury. Does it say that they must be? No.
They can be, but why?
Which means that what you can do, you can actually the trial judge can exclude them to become part of the jury in the first place. Okay. You see, 1974 Act, or traditionally, we say that these people should not be included in the jury. But later, it has been successfully argued that what if someone do not have any direct conflict of interest, direct or indirect conflict of interest, there is no problem having them in the jury. Having them in the jury can be good. You know why? Because as they understand the law, they can explain other members of the jury if they have any difficulty. That is a good thing of having someone who is legally trained having in the jury. Now, you are legally trained, you are legally trained. If you are included in the jury, 11 other lay people, and you are only one who has got legal training, would you, when explaining them, would you talk to them in legal language or you will try to come down to their level? You will come down, try to come down to their level, and you will tell them that look, this is our solutions. And when will you do that? Are you allowed to do that throughout the jury trial, or are you allowed to do that during jury deliberation? During jury deliberation, not throughout. Be careful. Throughout jury, you cannot talk to each other about it because then you are going to try to influence each other. Okay. Now, it's good in a way, but when it can be bad if there is a conflict of interest. And if you read these three cases, after of Williamson and Reed, you will see the House of Lords has given guidelines. When there can be a conflict of interest, when there cannot be, well, conflict of interest. Are you clear? Okay. And it cited Article 6, it cited principles of natural law. Okay. Nemo juris in causa sua. Have you come across that? Anybody? No? Nemo judex in causa sua. It's not Latin. Nemo judex in causa sua. It means no one can be the judge of his own cause. No one should be the judge of his own cause. That means you cannot be sitting as an arbiter in a dispute where you have an interest. Interest direct no. It can be an indirect interest. Okay? That is the main thing. If you look at Abdrakov and others, if you look at Williamson, if you look at Green, it clearly says that if this is the case, if there is a conflict of interest, you should not be included in the jury. Are you clear? Okay? And if there is not, you can. What is R versus Khan saying? There is another case, court case, R versus Khan. Khan saying that at the time of the selection process, it is better to establish whether there is any conflict of interest. How you will do it? You simply ask those who are randomly called. Say you all are randomly called for jury service. Okay. The first thing I can ask, if I am the trial judge, the first thing I can ask, is there any police officer? He raised his hand. Is there any police officer? He raised his hand. Is there any prosecutor? He raised his hand. Now I can easily, I am the trial judge, I can easily establish whether he has got any conflict of interest, she has got, anybody, any of them. If I can establish that there is a conflict of interest, what do I do? I simply exclude them. So if conflict of interest part, if that can be sorted at the initial level, what will happen? Can there be any appeal on that ground? So just to the initially the ruling gave the safely that there is no conflict of interest having a prison officer in the jury. Then even if once the defendant is convicted, can the defendant do an appeal against the conviction on that ground? The answer is no, because it has been sorted in the purpose. And that is where harm becomes so important. Harm is saying that the trial judge will determine whether there is conflict of interest.
What if the random person turns out to be a friend of the
That's something the prosecution will find out and establish. Are we clear? Why this is important? Okay. Jury again, there can be another question. Another area of jury, that is fairness of jury. Is the jury fair?
Sir, is it the task 2 question 1? Is it something?
Yeah, question 1 deals with yes. This one deals with fairness as well. How does it relate with fairness? Tell me. How social representatives of the jury deals with fairness of the jury?
Whether there are correct people of the society to decide what I should the judge should say.
What do you understand by social representativeness? What does that mean?
People representing as a common man of the society.
Social representativeness. Think about it.
Oh.
A society having male population of 54% and female population of 46%. Okay. How should the socially representative jury look like? Modern. How the socially representative jury look like?
Mostly
54% of the jury must be male and 46% must be female. That's how it should be, isn't it? If the composition of the society is like that, it's social representative. Socially representative, what does that mean? It should reflect the demography of the society. Am I right? Now, if the society has white population of 70% and black and ethnic minorities 30%, how many should be a socially representative? What should it look like? 70%. So 8 should be white and 4 should be black. Can we get the jury like that? Why not? Can we get the jury like that? Because juries are randomly selected. So if you randomly select that, then how things will be like? It can be of any combination, but what do you get the probability? What is the probability? There is this probability that 70%, there is 70% probability that all jury will be white. Which is the most likely outcome? And there's likely that 30% likely that all jury will be black. Am I right? Think about it. Which one is likely? All white juries? You have a black defendant who is accused of killing a white king. You are the defense counsel. You get a jury all white. What will you do? What will you gain? You will raise racial bias?
Yes.
You are defending a female who is accused of killing her husband. And you have all male jury. What would you claim? What would you claim? You would claim that, well, my client did not get a jury, fair trial because all of them are male. You will say that there's a gender disparity here. Am I right? Can we change it?
Yes.
What is the common law principle here? The common law principle here is that jury must be selected randomly. The common law principle doesn't say that you point a finger and say you can be jury, you can be jury, you can be jury. It's not like that. It's a random selection. What is the question? Whether juries are truly representative of society. What would you answer? What would you start answering with?
Yes, it can.
You see, what would be your starting point for this? If I ask you that give me the answer in 10 sentences.
First was why it came here.
It should start with saying that, you're talking about the selection process. This is about selection process.
Yes.
This question is about selection process. You should start talking about the selection process, which is random, which cannot make it socially representative. As simple as this. Because it is random, we cannot make it socially representative. Even though there is a strong argument saying that a randomly selected jury may be in violation of Article 6. But there is nothing we can do because that is the foundation of the jury trial. Okay, foundation of the jury trial is that the jury must be selected randomly from the electoral list. Now, if that leads to a complete disproportionality, we can't do anything. We have to execute. So, can it be socially representative? It can't. Am I clear? Socially representative না হওয়ার পিছনে আরেকটা বড় কারণ সেটা হচ্ছে কি you need to define what you mean by social representativeness. A society, a demography in a country, in a society has got different dimensions. Which dimension are we talking about? Are we talking about racial balance? Are we talking about gender balance? Are we talking about physical disability? So many other things can come into play. Okay. Are we talking about religion? Are we talking about nationality? We will feel it out. So it is difficult to have a jury which is socially representative. So you talk about selection process. You talk about the process of trying to define what is social representative. Are we clear? There's a case. It says, what we get the jury from just this 70%. We get the jury just from that 70%. Okay? And we pick them up randomly. Is the jury fair? Is there a violation of Article 6? How? Let me tell you. If you pick jury from just from here, you get all white. If we get jury from 100%, you still get all white jury. Which one violates Article 6 and which one doesn't? First one. First one violates Article 6. Or both violates Article 6. First one. Why are you saying the first one? Because that's the right answer. The first one is all the right person.
First one,
What
I'm
was the
deliberately
The first,
from the study.
say if you select jury just from that 70% and you select them randomly,
I'm already.
what would be the outcome? What would be the outcome?
Sir, because
All right.
we have already extinguished the probability of taking from that 20%. We have initially extinguished it, so it is definitely fundamentally it is.
It is wrong. Fundamentally, it is wrong. Yes, very good. বুঝতে পারছেন স্যার? খেয়াল করে দেখেন দুইটা আউটকাম কিন্তু একই। If you take from 70%, you get all white jury. If you take half from 100%, you still get the all white jury. But having it from 70% is a violation of Article 6. Why? Because you have excluded any possibility of the other 30% to be included in the jury. Therefore, you have done discrimination in the first place. And that's a violation. Otherwise, it's not a violation. Are we clear? Okay. So, if you have a jury from all these, okay, there is a case. Rogers versus Bartlett. Okay. Just have a look at this case. Online circular page. Okay. BERAAQE. The court is saying it is only a violation of Article 6 if we exclude one segment of the society in the first place, because you are discriminating the foundation. If you include all of them, then you are not discriminating in the first place, and that's not. Are we clear? Okay. And that is the first thing. That is why you cannot have a jury which is socially. Task 3. What do you think? Do you think that media and the internet could affect the ability of the jurors to perform their duties properly?
Then we discuss.
How?
So because internet and social media, these are the only mediums through which even normal people have access to. So often they, first of all, sometimes most of the time, social media and internet, they publish news. Most of the time they are biased. Okay. Yes, and this is the only platform from where general people get the news from, about whether it be a case that was heard in the court or any general issues. So whenever this is human tendency to form a structure as such as presented by you, by the media, and it keeps on working the psychology. And if you are again you are called for jury duty, and it is more likely that you will tend to play those a similar type of scenario.
How does that violate the fundamental of duty?
So it values because if it can be established that this social media, these reports, and they have already been biased and yes, has been put into.
Let me give you an example. Then I'll ask you a question. You are the defense lawyer. All right. That is your role. Your client has been accused of killing a celebrity. All right. What would you claim about influence of media and internet? Did you get my question?
Yes.
Your client is accused of killing a celebrity who's a much loved celebrity by the media and of course of the people by the people as well. What would you claim if you are happy about media and internet? What would you claim? Think. You see, very simple. Look at the jury deliberation process, jury verdict process. What should a judge, what should a jury do? How we should take a decision? Jury's decision should be influenced by what? From the evidence, from witnesses presented, from the arguments presented. Right? But if I'm the jury, if I'm a member of the jury, and I come to the courtroom, oh yeah, this guy, I know he's the one. What would you claim? You say, what would you claim? You will claim that I had a creative mind. Am I right? I have already decided that he's guilty. Am I looking at the evidence? What evidence? I don't need it. I know he has killed. Am I right? That makes the entire trial as what? It's like vigilante justice, isn't it? Yes, sir. It's a vigilante justice. You don't need to look at all those things. You don't need to go through the process. And that is where media and internet can play a very important role. Positive role or negative role? What do we do? Say, we get a jury and say, we ask them, do you read newspaper? Do you see this? Do you see that? Or can we say that somebody got thrilled? Can we say that don't publish any news about it? There is something called media gagging. There is definitely gagging order. The judge may say that about this case there should not be any news. The judge may do that. But that would be a violation of many other fundamental rights, isn't it? Think about it. Let's think hypothetically a situation. A hypothetical situation, a small town named Uttara where life is very boring. There is nothing there. Okay. There is nothing there in Uttara. That there is nothing there in Uttara. Nothing happened in last 10 years. No excitement. Okay. There are only 5,000 inhabitants living there. There is a boring radio station which just plays some country music. There are a few stores, not much to do. Suddenly, there is a murder. Suddenly there is a murder, and the local newspaper which used to publish only obituaries, and the local radio which used to play just the country music is all now about the murder.
Only one.
And everyone seemed to know the victim. Everyone seemed to know something about the different language. And now there will be a trial where we will have to get a jury from that 5,000. All right. 10 days later, when jury has been selected for the trial, what is going to happen to this defendant? Because the media already, the local newspaper and the radio station already formed the public opinion that this guy is guilty. As simple as it is. When the sometimes jury is sent to hotels, that you stay in the hotel and you all stay there and you take a decision. When the jury stays together, at the deliberation, especially at the deliberation stage, they are barred from reading newspapers. They are barred from watching television.
Are you using social media?
Yes. You can't do that. You are not even allowed to talk to your family about the trial that you are involved. That is hard. Yes, that is hard. But এটা কার উপরে ডিপেন্ড করবে? Can you guard it? You can't guard it. কার উপরে ডিপেন্ড করবে? It will depend on the jury. মনে করেন আপনি যদি জুরি হন, আপনাকে বলা হলো তুমি এসব কোনো কিছু করতে পারো না, আপনি বাসায় গেলেন, বাসায় গিয়ে বাড়ির লোকদের সাথে কথা বলুন, বাড়ির লোক বলবে না আচ্ছা টিভিতে এটা দেখলাম, there you go. It helps you to form some kind of opinion. Whose life becomes difficult by because of media and internet? It's the lawyer's life becomes difficult. If you are defending the lawyer, if you are the defense counsel, and media already portray your client as guilty, you have a hell of a job to prove that your client is not guilty. It's very difficult. So let's finish that. Okay. So that's where, that's what is task 3 all about. What is jury equity? What is the first one? What is the role and importance of the juries in English criminal court? What do we write about it? Question 1, task 1. What is the role and importance of juries in English criminal courts? What is its importance? Okay, let's do a task. Can you write down 5 advantages of jury trial? Yes, get your pen and paper and everything. I want you to write down. Give me 5 advantages. I want you to write 5 advantages and 5 disadvantages.
This is according to the section. Yeah,
Okay, write down the advantages and disadvantages. 5 advantages and 5 disadvantages. Done? I don't mind it doing because he will at least learn something. Yes, see, you want to Google it, go ahead, do it. At least he'll know. Yeah, that's good. Scenery was to start. You got that? What? Huh? Done? Done? Right. Do you want to keep Julie or do you want to get rid of it? If you are to decide, what would you decide? What would you look at? You want to keep it or do you want to just get rid of it? Now, one of the disadvantages of Julie trial is it's very expensive. Yes. And a trial without jury costs around 1.6 million. And it takes yes, and a trial with jury costs around 5.6 million.
And
Yes, a jury trial is a jury, no, there is no jury, no, yes. And a jury trial, with jury trial, it requires 88 police officers. Without jury, it requires 38 police officers. The jury is time consuming, very procedural. What if the jury cannot reach to even a majority verdict? What will happen? It will collapse. They are very trial, isn't it? Yes, you go through this process again. So after the trial, think about it. All things are done, and the deliberation says we have a locked jury. 9-3. You know, well, something like that. You are not reaching even a majority verdict. Forget about unanimous verdicts. Few days later, judge calls a mistrial. Let's go for a retrial again. You have to do everything from the scratch. That's the worst part of jury trial. Do you still want to keep it? Has this changed your opinion?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But what are the advantages of jury? You don't share anymore? You see, where is jury coming from? Okay. The jury is seen as a symbol of liberty and freedom. Yes. Now, can you put a price on things like liberty and freedom?
That's emotional blackmail.
Sorry?
That's legal blackmail. Legal blackmail. Ideological blackmail.
Yes. If you look at the advantages and disadvantages, you will notice one thing. Advantages are more like ideological things. Disadvantages are more like practical things. Yes. Which one you would go for? More ideology or more like practical things? It's up to you. How do you write it?
So for some reason,
Look at the what I have highlighted there. Jury equity. What is jury equity saying? Principle of jury equity. Look at that. So clearly the evidence, even if the evidence clearly indicates that the defendant is guilty, the jury may say that the defendant is not guilty. That is the jury equity. Okay, I've highlighted one case. You should look at it. You know the facts? Yes, mother has seen the daughter. Very good. What did the jury say? The jury said mother is not guilty. Acquitted her. There was, you see, by law that is something you are not allowed. But here jury acquitted. Okay, one simple thing. Now let's compare. If this mother was tried by a single judge, the judge is bound by what? Not by the law? No. What would be the decision? She is guilty? She is guilty? Am I right? The mother is agreeing that yes, I have assisted my daughter because of these reasons. Because of these reasons. The judge, being bound by law, will have to say that yes, she is guilty. But the same trial, when it is done by the 12 laymen, they are saying that she is not guilty. What is it reflecting? Is it reflecting law or is it reflecting social views? Social views. It is reflecting social views. What is society telling us? Society is saying that if we have overwhelming reasons for to ease somebody's pain, then it is something which should be allowed. But gender day can be so important, and you can use gender day as a reason for keeping individual because it represents more human side. Yes. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So we confident about the questions now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So next week, what do we have?
Sir, what is it too? But we can proceed police powers first.
Yes. You can I rely on you that you will independently be good and look at the court visit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or else what I have to do, I'll have to bring you here and do the live streaming here.
No, sir.
I don't think that is something which is required. So in our next class, we will look at the police powers. We'll be ahead of BPP team. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir,